Good afternoon. I'm Assistant Chief Scott Dingy with JSO's Investigations Division. I'm here today to tell you about a case that our homicide, actually many of our units have been working on. It's been an unbelievable, lengthy investigation involving many of our units here at the Sheriff's Office. Back on March 6th of this year, our patrol officers were called to the 6800 block of Langsford Street on the north side in reference to some suspicious individuals who are running through a neighborhood. When the officers arrived, they spoke with several people, including a lady by the name of Stacy Studemire and an individual who is identified as Jamel Kelly's girlfriend. Don't have her name right now. They spoke to Ms. Studemire about the incident and the girlfriend. The girlfriend reported that her boyfriend, Jamel Kelly, had been chased by some males away from his residence and that she had not seen him since then. Ms. Studemire downplayed the incident. The officers searched the area, didn't find Jamel, didn't hear or see any sign of a crime. So they documented the incident in an information report and then left the area. On 3/9, on March 9th, Jamel's ex-girlfriend, a different lady, called to report that Jamel was still missing, that he had not been on social media, she had not heard from him, he had not been seen by anyone else to her knowledge, and she said that was completely out of his character. The patrol officers added information to the report to that effect, made several efforts to attempt to locate Jamel, and they were unsuccessful. On March 10th, after additional work by our patrol officers, our missing persons unit was notified, and our detectives in the missing persons unit began an investigation to see if they could locate Jamel Kelly at that time. Based on information found during their investigation, the detectives had reason to believe that Jamel Kelly was in fact deceased. They had upgraded this to a missing person case by then. They had entered him into a national database as a missing person and had treated this as a missing person until that point when, again, they determined that they thought Jamel was deceased. So on March 13th of this year, our homicide unit was contacted about this case and brought into the investigation. After a detailed investigation, we have very strong evidence to believe that Jamel Kelly is in fact dead and that he was killed by suspect Gerod Studemire. And I'm going to explain the relationships between all these individuals because it gets confusing. Jamel Kelly is an adult. His mother is Stacy Studemire. Mrs. Studemire used to be married to Gerod Studemire, but they are now divorced. So Gerod Studemire is Jamel Kelly's ex-stepfather. Shakira, the other individual here that I'll be talking about, is Shakira Atwater. She is one of the multiple girlfriends of Gerod Studemire, who is married to another individual at this point. So during this detailed investigation, we have determined, again, that Jamel Kelly was killed by Gerod Studemire on the night of March 6th, the night of the original call. Basically, three individuals plus Gerard chased the victim from his house. There was some kind of criminal act, and we believe that Jamel was killed there. We further believe that, and we have evidence to prove, that Gerod Studemire and another individual then loaded up Jamel Kelly's body into the trunk of Gerod Studemire's Lincoln Continental, the car there on the bottom left. Sometime after that night, the Lincoln Continental was burned and destroyed, which would be the picture there to the right. So on the 23rd of this month, Stacy Studemire was arrested for charges of accessory after the fact to the murder. On the 24th, yesterday, Shakira Atwater was arrested for accessory after the fact to murder. And on the 25th, today, this morning, Gerod Studemire was arrested by our SWAT team members for murder and evidence tampering with a bond of over $1 million. We believe there are other subjects involved in this case. We anticipate potential further arrests coming at some point. This investigation continues to be very active, very ongoing. We are appealing for the public any information that anyone may have in reference to these individuals here, the vehicle seen either in the condition that back on the night of the murder or shortly thereafter in good condition, or even later in the burn condition. We do not have that vehicle, and we would be very interested, obviously, in obtaining that vehicle. Again, we know that it's burned. That is an actual picture of the vehicle. We just don't have it in our custody. So we would be interested in anyone that would have information on the vehicle or these people or anyone else who may have been involved in that incident on March 6th. We have those people identified, but we're just appealing for additional public help in providing any information on the whereabouts of those individuals on the night of March 6th or subsequent night. Also, we have not located Jamel Kelly's body at this point. So we would be very interested in any information, obviously, that would lead to us being able to locate his body. We would ask anyone with information to call our homicide unit, either through our comm center at 630-0500 or through Crime Stoppers at 1-866-845-TIPS. And I will now take questions.
Why were they chasing Mr. Kelly? What's the reason?
Again, I can't get into too much of the detail. It had to do with the family dynamics of the mother and the ex-stepfather. The mother was having some domestic issues with Mr. Kelly, who was living with her. And basically, we believe that she contacted Mr. Studemire to come over and confront him about these domestic issues, which then led to his demise.
Chief, can you go into this vehicle more details? I mean, who took that picture?
That's just surveillance footage from out in that neighborhood, I believe. The other picture, the burn picture.
About the burn.
Yeah, that I don't want to get into with where we got that. That's part of the investigation.
It doesn't exist anymore, the vehicle.
It's somewhere. We just don't know where it is. But
Okay, so you never recovered the vehicle?
Exactly. We got this picture of the vehicle after it was burned. However, and I don't want to get into how we got that. However, the vehicle was then moved after this picture was taken, and we do not have it, and we are still looking for it.
But you believe his body is in that torched car?
No, I don't. We don't know for sure where his body is, but no, we do not believe it was in the car.
Why are you so
sure?
sure?
The fire department came out and put out that fire. That we know. So there was no body located at that time.
Why are you so sure that this is a murder case and that Jamel is not alive?
I can't get into the specifics of that, but we have solid evidence to indicate that.
And would his death have taken place on the street, in public, in a house?
It was after they chased him down the street in a location down the street, behind some houses into some wooded area.
And that would be Langford Street.
Correct.
Can you say if it was a shooting or?
I don't want to get into specifics of that.
Can you say roughly how many other people may be involved?
Again, he was chased by Mr. Studemire and 3 individuals that we know of. Now, there may be additional people that have information. Again, Mr. Studemire has numerous girlfriends. We believe some of them may have knowledge, Shakira being one of them. We know she took some direct acts to help hide this crime, and there could be additional people out there with that kind of information that knows of what occurred as well.
And just to be clear, his own mother is believed to be involved in this?
His own mother took direct actions to cover up this crime as well.
After the fact?
At this point, after the fact. That's
Any
what we
reason
can
to believe that she was involved in his death?
That is part of the ongoing investigation. It is possible.
So it's not accurate to say right now that you believe that they put his body in the car and torched the car?
It's accurate to say we believe they put his body, or somebody put his body in the car, transported it from the scene, and then sometime later that car was burned. Again, fire department came out the night that car was burned, and it did not contain a body at that time. So.
But did JSO not get dispatched along with JFRD for that?
We did not.
Is that?
He reported it as an electrical fire, so JFRD took him at his word.
Who's he?
Mr. Studemire.
Chief, are you able to say when that car was burned, a rough time frame as to when we would be looking for that burned car?
Not offhand. I believe it was 2 or 3 weeks, somewhere along in there.
It's not every day that we see you all make a murder arrest for somebody without a body. Can you speak to, I guess, you have a strong enough case?
Yes, I can say that. Yes, to both. Yes, it is unusual for us to make arrests in a case without a body. However, it's not impossible. We have been working in close concert with the state attorney's office through this whole process. We are very confident it's a murder, and we are very confident we can prove it's a murder.
Was there ever any public notification made about this missing person case?
No, not at the time, no.